Don't you hate it when your favorite film franchise goes from hit to shit? That's Terminator for you. The first two movies were absolute classics, the second one defining a whole new generation, being what many consider to be the greatest action movie of all time. And that's saying a lot for its time. The first movie I almost consider to be a classic slasher movie because it just draws a line between horror and action so well that I often see it more as a horror movie than an action movie. I love how The Terminator is literally a movie about man versus machine, man versus the future. It's this feeling of uncertainty that makes me prefer The Terminator over T2. Yeah, sure, Terminator 2 has awesome action scenes, but to me, evil Arnold just seems to be more interesting to me than the good guy Arnold. Unfortunately, Terminator is just one of those franchises that has just been done to death, with unnecessarily amount of sequels and a bunch of other sources of media that just didn't really go anywhere. So this is how the Terminator franchise holds up right now. We have the awesome The Terminator, which is probably one of my favorite movies of all time, the greatest sequel to a movie ever, T2, and Terminator 3, which was just a massive disappointment, Terminator Salvation, which was just another disappointment, and then from there, it just got worse to the point where they absolutely destroyed the franchise and probably the last bit of hope it had to redeem itself. So today I thought we'll take a look back at the games for the franchise and see if they fare up to the awesomeness that is the Terminator franchise. By franchise, I mean the first two movies. I don't know if I said that enough already. So first of all, we'll take a look at T2 on the Game Boy. Oh yeah.
There's not too much I can say about this, as you can finish the game in under half an hour. And it's quite simple really. Simple once you know what the hell you're meant to do. You play as John Connor, who's grown up, just like the movie, who's fighting his way into Skynet. You single-handedly take down swarms of Terminators, bunch of towers, and these annoying ships that just keep dropping bombs. And watch out for those landmines, they are everywhere and a real pain in the ass.
As a Game Boy game, it controls pretty well. No complaint there, to be honest.
I mean, it does look like he's jumping on the moon, but still, it's good that he can jump high enough to get over those annoying landmines, and you can even jump over the Terminators. Pretty handy, so you don't have to kill them all, you just run right past them. Eventually you'll make it to this, and it's a real doozy. How are you supposed to guess that you're meant to take down all the towers in a certain order? Height order to be exact. How are you supposed to know that? So if you did what I did, which was just run to the other side of the map, sorry, but you have to turn around and go back and find those towers. Once you've done that, you'll meet the first boss. He's pretty damn easy, all you do is shoot and dodge his whatever rockets, missiles, I don't know. Just dodge those things and just keep blasting away and eventually he'll go boom. More like disintegrate. The Terminators blow up in exploding fashion, this thing just slowly fades away into nothingness. Kinda lame. After that you got some reading and then you're off to Skynet. This level is much easier than the first in the sense that you just got a bit of an idea on what you're meant to do. But oh my god, these bombs in this level piss me off. There is no way to dodge these ones, you can't jump high enough because of the roof. It's not like you can aim down either to shoot them, you just have to walk right over them and take quite a bit of damage. Oh, I didn't mention before is that you only have one life. So once you lose a life, it's back to the beginning. Level 1 beginning.
Eventually make it to this part, and I hope you didn't lose your brain already because you're going to need it.
You have to rewire the T800, which is a mess.
Alright, it's actually pretty easy once you know how to do it. You just gotta put these wires facing the same way to allow the electric currents to flow through. Once you know how to do it, it's easy.
Also, if you complete this before the timer runs out, you have to wait for the timer itself to run out. That's a real pain, why can't I just end once I've done it instead of making me sit here for 30 seconds? What? I gotta do that again? Yeah, good luck figuring this out in 50 seconds.
Damn, I guess I screwed up. One good thing about this is that you do have two chances before going back to the very beginning of the game, but still,
You would do this quite a bit if you don't know how to do this properly, and to be honest, it did take me a couple of times.
Holy shit. At least you have 80 seconds to figure this one out, but holy hell.
After that, the game starts to make sense. It turns out the past 3 levels was John Connor in the future, who was breaking into Skynet so he can reprogram the T-800 to send back in time to begin the Terminator movie. And you get this awesome level from the movie, and I have to say, it plays alright.
After shooting the truck many times, it will eventually just slowly start to fade to the empty bottom of the screen. Slowly exploding, I guess? I don't know. Anyway, glad that's done. And just like that, it then jumps many awesome scenes from the movie and goes straight to the final mission, where you have to kill the T-1000 in that classic scene in the movie where you burn him alive. Except I don't remember there being this many other Terminators in the scene. Are they even Terminators though? They look like random police officers who shouldn't even be here. Anyway, eventually you get to the T-1000 and you get to show him who's boss. You just shoot him a couple of times and eventually turn into this marshmallow looking thing. But then you get to shoot him down into the fiery pits of hell where then he dies. The end. Well, that was a waste of 30 minutes.
Well, that was mildly disappointing. I mean, there's not much I can say about it. I mean, it is a Game Boy game after all. There's only so much they can do. So let's head up the ranks a little bit and check out Terminator 3 The Redemption on the original Exponer. Terminator 3. Oh boy. That movie.
Why would you make a game based off what many consider to be the boringest out of all the Terminator sequels? Nothing really happened in it, and it was a massive letdown. The reason why they made this game was just to try and cash in on the sequel to Terminator 2.
Terminator 3, you tried oh so hard and failed oh so miserably. I got the DVD off eBay, and when I first saw it, I legit thought I got a bootleg copy. It was horrible.
You play as Arnold's character, which I have to say is really interesting, and you take down more Terminators than there are in the entire third movie, which was just 2. To be fair, this game is actually pretty good. As a Terminator game it fails, but it's just a great action game altogether. Really well put together for an Xbox original game. It's important not to expect too much when it comes to the story because it is rather boring, just like the movie, but the gameplay is interesting enough to keep you interested and hopefully keep you playing. In the Game Boy game, the Terminators blew up when you killed them. Here, they just fall over like random pieces of cardboard cutouts. It's rather boring, but I guess it's more movie accurate because I don't expect every Terminator to blow up whenever I kill them because that's just not how they work. But surely they could have thought of something more interesting than just having them fall over. It's just lame. I won't comment too much on the graphics, it being an original Xbox game, but these cutscenes are just... This is the kind of game that you might just happen to find in a buy 2 get 1 free sort of deal. There's no reason to go out and buy one of these just for the sake of having it. It's not worth it, but for a freebie, if you can, give it a go. Why not?
Well, after playing that game, I sort of realised something. It's not a bad game per se, it's just a bad Terminator game. So it has that going for it.
The smart fans of the Terminator franchise just gave up after this movie and just stuck to the first 2, but some stuck around hoping that the next might just redeem itself. This is where the franchise just went downhill.
Anyway, off we go to what most people consider to be the downfall of the series when it came to Terminator Salvation. To me, the franchise died by 3, but anyway, here we go, Terminator Salvation, where they took out Arnold on the movie.
Good old Terminator Salvation, the very movie that spawned the whole tradition of just ignore the sequels and make our own thing, but make it a prequel. And it didn't work at all. Fans hated it, and again, what the hell? The first thing I'll say about the game is that it's boring. You can finish the game in under 4 hours, and it's not worth it. There's no multiplayer, it's just a 4-hour long campaign, all packaged and sold to you for the full retail price of, in Australia that's 100, and yeah, not worth it, mate. You don't even see the Terminators that much. It's more shooting these locusts, I guess you'll call them wasps, and a bunch of spiders. Where the hell are the Terminators? Where's the robots they're meant to be fearing? What the hell are these things? The AI in this game is a real joke. You'll feel like you're the only one doing anything, as your AI companions just stand there getting shot at. Enemy AI is just as worse. They just stand there letting you shoot them right in the face, and they don't even fight back very well. I mean, it makes sense that the Terminators will just stand there and not taking cover because they don't care about getting killed because they're not human, but surely not, they wouldn't just stand there like this. It's pathetic, really. And for what they are called Terminators, they don't do much terminating, they can't even shoot properly. Also, what is it with these Terminator games thinking they can just add in a random railgun shooting mode where your companions drive you while you shoot things? They're just never done right, they're always boring, and this one, it's no better. Terminator 3, the game, at least made it somewhat interesting, but here, it's unnecessary, and again, I don't like it.
So when it comes down to it, Terminator Salvation, the game, is better than the movie, which isn't saying much, but yet again, it was a pretty bad movie. The game is too short, has next to no replay value, and all in all, it's just a rather lame game. It's boring. So ignore it, pretend it doesn't exist, just like the sequels of the movies, and move on. Oh boy, now we are down to the last game. This right here is Terminator Resistance, the latest game to have come out, and it came out right after the movie did, Dark Fate. Does this game hold up, and will we finally have a good Terminator game? Well, let's find out.
First of all, it's probably worth knowing that the team behind this game were also responsible for a terrible Rambo game back for the 360 and PS3 way back in 2014. So some gamers are already giving this game the cold shoulder. I mean, why wouldn't you? They already messed up a one movie tie-in game. What makes you think they'll do any better with this one? Well, I am pleased to say that they definitely stepped up the game with this video game because it is pretty damn good. But is it still a good Terminator game? First of all, one thing that many gamers hate about this game is that there is no multiplayer and it is sold in stores at full retail price. That is enough for most gamers to consider this game as a complete failure. This is one of those games you do not want to pick up at full price. This is the kind of thing you'll see on sale within the first week, and it has been. The game is set before the first two movies, which I guess I'm glad they stuck to the future war, but we've seen this with every Terminator game so far, and I would have liked to have seen something new, but it does a really good job at capturing the feel and look of what the Terminator universe future war would actually be like. It is very well put together. The game is very faithful to the franchise. They got the look and feel of the atmosphere as what was depicted in the movies. The sound effects are top notch as they are straight out of the movie. You can just tell that real love was put into how the game looks and plays out. It is just done super well. The weapons are very good too, as they are straight out of the movie as well. Remember in the first Terminator movie where Arnie's character was asking for all these weapons? Well, those weapons he asked for are in the game.
Anything else?
Phased plasma rifle in the 40-watt range.
Hey, just what you see, pal.
The Uzi 9mm.
The weapons you can also customize, which I really like. You can increase the magazine capacity, the handling, and damage. And these things you will want to do as soon as you can. Because at the beginning of the game, you start off with just your ordinary bullet shooting weapons. And these aren't very effective against the Terminators. But once you get to the plasma rifles and all those awesomenesses, then the real fun begins. The length of the game is a big improvement from Salvation, with a runtime around maybe 10 hours if you play it slow and steady as you should, which is commendable. The AI in this game is also pretty good. I mean, it's not the best, but compared to other Terminator games,
It is a very big step up. They are a bit stupid at times, but they also have their moments, and it terrifies you when you see a Terminator running at you from around the corner and you have to react fast, and all you have is a bullet shooting weapon and they don't do much damage, so you're scared, and it's awesome. It captures that feeling of what the Alien games did when you're just running down a corridor being chased by one of these things. It's frightening and it's awesome. Speaking of the Terminators, you actually see them quite a bit in this game. It's not full of wasps and spider-like robots. I mean, they do appear quite a bit, but still, there are more T-800s in this game than there have been in the previous ones, and that makes me happy. When it comes down to it, the story itself is alright. It's just above average. I mean, it's not very memorable, but still, as a Terminator game, it passes, and considering how the movie franchise has gone downhill, I have to say I would call this a classic Terminator game. Very well put together, and let's just say it's better than the sequels when it comes to the story, which I personally think means a lot. When it comes down to it, this is the best Terminator game by an absolute long shot. It does so many things right, like having the actual sound effects from the game and just capturing that feel and look of a Terminator game, but it does some things wrong, like having no multiplayer. That just shortens the lifespan and doesn't give it that much replay value. And charging the full retail price for this game is hardly worth it. You want to get this game on sale and then you won't be disappointed. If you are a Terminator fan like myself and just want a good Terminator game, this is your best bet. Very enjoyable, and as a fan, you shouldn't be disappointed.
So how about that, guys? We finally have a half-decent Terminator game. It only took them a long time. So when it comes down to it, this is probably your best bet. I mean, it misses out on so many levels, like having no multiplayer, and again, it is 100% single player. You can't play co-op, split screen, or anything. So because of that, some people hate it. But when it comes to the gameplay and the story, and how it's meant to be a Terminator game, it does rather well. I like it. So, do the games fare up to the franchise and the failures that the movies made after T2? Honestly, I don't really think so. To me, some of the games are just as much as a failure as the movies. I mean, Terminator Resistance is probably the best one, but it still misses out on so many awesome opportunities. Most fans of the franchise only care about the first two movies, and that's the way it really should be. But if you like the sequels, well, I don't see why, but good on you, I guess. The only reason why we hate on the sequels is because if you keep going around and fondling the franchise's balls, they're going to give you the same shit over and over again. And I don't think we want to have a bunch of movies that just ignore the previous ones. Otherwise, what can we like? To me, honestly, just watch the first two movies and just pretend nothing else matters or even exists. That way, you'll be much more happier. But if you like the sequels, then have at it. I mean, I don't really care what you like when it comes to those movies, but if you enjoy them, then enjoy them. Don't let people like us make you change your opinion. So with that, I say look out for each other, care for each other, unless of course I like Terminator Dark Fate.